Beverly Hills, that's where I want to be, living in Beverly Hills. So I want to talk a little bit about agents. So some of you might be going into this artistic career and maybe you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm probably going to be working freelance. I'm really excited about being my own boss, saying yes and no to the jobs that I want. But I'm kind of freaking out a little bit because how am I going to stay busy? I need constant income coming in. I want to make sure that I have a roof over my head and I've got food on the table, being able to provide for a family. How am I going to be able to do this, doing all the work, but also staying on top of new gigs? And how am I going to find new work and stay on top of all of that? Well, there is one thing that you can do, and that is you can get an agent. And agents are really cool. Sometimes people also call them reps or representatives. What's great about an agent is their job is just getting you new work, and they are on top of it because you're probably not the only artist that they represent, and they are aware of every single job going on. That is their gig, is to find you new work. Now, you've probably heard of agents before for like actors. They actually have agents for writers, and they have them for all kinds of things. Yes, they have them for artists, and then they have different kinds of agents for different kinds of things you might be doing art for. For example, if you are getting into storyboards or concept art, two of the agencies that you may go through are Famous Frames or Storyboards Inc. I'll leave links down below so you can check that out, but Famous Frames and Storyboard Incorporated, it's Storyboard INC, not INK, but I'll have links down below, and they know all of the really cool gigs that are going on, and they will keep you busy. So some of you might feel like, how does this even work? Well, it's free to have an agent. You shouldn't be paying anything. If anyone is saying, yes, I'll be your agent, but you have to pay for it, probably not a good sign. Agents will work for you, and what they do is they take a cut. Usually they'll take anywhere from 25 to 35%, depending on what it is. There's some, sometimes it's even more, sometimes it's even less, but it's usually 25 to 35 if you're an artist. You might feel like, man, that's a lot of dough, that's a huge chunk, but they are constantly getting you gigs, and they're getting you good gigs, working for publishers, working for Hollywood studios. And what's great about an agent is they will fight to get you top dollar. You know, most artists are, we don't like going over contracts, and we don't like haggling for money or anything like that. We're usually not very good at it anyway, and we don't like to do it. And the great thing about agents, though, they are on top of it, and it's in their very best interest for you to make a lot of dough, because the more money you make, the more money they are going to make, right? So it's very interesting. I used to have an agent, or a bunch of agents actually. I've had 5 throughout my career. I don't work with any agents anymore. I'm going to do another video telling you why you might not be interested in working with an agent. So look for that video soon. But I remember when I was doing a lot of Hollywood work, when I had an agent, I was making on average, usually I was pulling in about $1,000 a day or more. So it was always crazy to me if the overall amount that I was making was $1,000, but really I was only making $750 because I was giving $250 of it away to my agent. And I remember I felt kind of weird because like all they did was make a phone call, and I was working all day long drawing all these storyboards for movies and stuff, and like, man, all they did was make a phone call, and they got 25% of my money. But truth be told, did I find the work, and are they on top of it, finding me all of these really cool gigs and fighting to make sure if there was ever a situation where I didn't get paid, they were on top of it. And so it was all the work that I didn't want to do, which made it kind of great. Anyway, that's something you might want to consider. They have agents. As an artist, they have agents that work with publishers. They have agents that work with advertising. If you Google them, you'll find them real quick. I'll leave links for the 2 that I mentioned down below. But that's one thing you can do to make sure that you are working busy, and they will make sure anything you want to put in your contract, like if you don't want to work on Sundays, like, because a lot of times there are gigs where they need something Monday morning and you'll get hired on Friday. They'll have all this work that's due on Monday. If you do not want to work on a Monday, they will put that in your contract and they will make sure. You can also have really cool things in your contract, like if you don't like working at nighttime, if that's family time for you, for example, they can put it in your contract that anytime you're working past 6 o'clock at night, you're getting time and a half, right? And then anytime you're working past 6 on a Friday, you're getting double time. And then I used to have it in my contracts, anytime I was working on weekends, triple time, which was great. Actually, it was probably triple time after 6 o'clock, double time during the day. I was making great money. It was kind of unfortunate because, you know, my friends would be going to parties and I would have to stay home doing work, but my God, I was making so much money on weekends. It was fantastic. So these are really cool things you can kind of work out with your agent. And for a lot of people, I have a lot of artist friends that still work with agents that absolutely love it. So, so yeah, something to consider, something to think about. All right, be good to one another and consider an agent. I'll be back next time with why you might not want to work with an agent. All right, Matt out.